Welcome back to the Peppercorn Boys, where the group chat becomes the podcast. I'm Scott. And I'm Joe.
I'm Joe.
And is there a Bruno? That's the
Bruno?
question.
That is the
Because
question.
this guy was floating above the Grand Canyon. Minimal of what, a week ago?
A week ago.
But we are as I think you should stop.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think we're finally back on time.
We're here.
It's been a tricky few weeks.
Tricky.
You know, Bruno's even had me upload an audio, which took so much out of me.
Ooh.
It took so much out.
And as always, I did nothing.
You did nothing. But we do wonder. Bruno was, floating above the Grand Canyon.
Sketchy.
He was putting his mortgage on the roulette table.
He's put his life on the line.
All these things were happening. Question is he here?
Is he?
Bruno?
I was 6 feet from the edge, baby.
Oh!
But I'm here.
Yeah! Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down.
Unbelievable. I attempted, but it was a hard fail even by my sort of estimates on trying to do that, because Big Man got stage fright in front of hundreds of people and being literally 5 feet from a canyon. So, hey, but we made it. I'm back.
Ready to tell the tale.
Ready to tell the tale.
Well, in theory, when your feet are on the ground and you're safe, it sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? But
it does, until you're up there in the sky like Ernie Pie.
Don't do it. If anyone's ever thinking of going on a helicopter, don't do it.
Don't do it, unless Bruno tells us otherwise. What I was going to say, though, was it is a big episode because we haven't actually done this for like 2.5 weeks in real time.
No.
And we've purposely, in the group chat, this is the group chat becomes a podcast. In the Peppercorn Boy group chat, 3 of them were together. We had Lewis, Sam, we had B Duns. They're all together in Vegas. We were getting like updates, but we've purposely not really like delved into much on this trip purposely for this podcast.
I ignored most of it just so I could enjoy it in first hand.
This is it. Joe ignored it.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. Do you know what was the biggest? Because you asked for me to spam you, Scott.
Oh yeah.
Like and I think within about 4 hours you were like, oh no, I've made a mistake here.
No, I definitely wasn't.
I tell you, living vicariously through you was amazing.
Yeah, and also I'm living vicariously through Bruno is like living vicariously through just not yourself.
A king?
Because these are things that you showed me. Hey, he was whining and dining with kings and queens. Oh. And these are things that I'm usually with peasants and queens. I don't know what the question, I don't know what to say.
Hookers.
Yes. But usually I'm there, I'm getting Wingstop and maybe like Gatorade. The big man is in there in the 5-star restaurants in Vegas. He's eating at Hell's Kitchen. He's doing these things. So he's vicariously living through Henry VIII himself.
He now has gout.
Yeah, and Bruno's developed gout. We actually were supposed to record 3 days ago since he's been back, but he hasn't been walking straight, nothing. The gout has really got him, yeah.
Hey, jet lag has won this time.
They call that the West Coast.
Is that a new gladiator?
Probably about 4-0 down to jet lag right now. But with that on, because you said you wanted to live vicariously through me, West Coast is mad because it's that 8-hour time difference that me, Lou, and Sam were still out and about. Like,
we're halfway through our work
talking it up, and you were like getting up, and I was like, "Oh
no, not getting up. That's normal."
No, yeah.
The West Coast and Vegas lifestyle are an odd mix because when I was going to bed at like 11, it was like 3 in the afternoon to them.
Yeah.
So they were just kind of like, I don't know what the word is. They were non-existent. They were kind of just doing their daytime activities.
Their messages on WhatsApp would just stop around about lunchtime.
Yeah.
I'd be tucking in my lunch.
And then that's when they go to bed. So what would happen is I'd wake up and I'd have all these messages. And then it would get more and more between then and like 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then about midday when you're tucking into your lunch, radio silence, they've gone to bed.
Done.
4 a.m. must have been the cool time.
Yeah.
Because, it would all stop. And then you wouldn't hear from them for the rest of your day until it got about 10 at night. And then all of a sudden they start popping up. So, no, it was really odd because it was odd generally because I couldn't get my head around it. When I was watching, for example, I think I was watching Johnny Gargano's vlog, and he finished SmackDown, got back to his hotel, and was getting ready for the Hall of Fame. It was 7:06. And I was like, how's SmackDown done? And he's back at the hotel. I don't understand.
And that Hall of Fame didn't end until 1 o'clock Vegas time.
Do you want to know what time it is?
No wonder he's sleeping.
Bruno, I woke up. It was halfway through. It finished at 9 a.m. our time. It started at 6 a.m. I don't like West Coast when it comes to watching stuff because it's hard enough East Coast, but the West Coast stuff just makes it basically impossible to, like Hall of Fame. Like Liz was like, "Are you going to stay up and watch Hall of Fame?" I was like, "It starts at 6 a.m. I might as well get up for that."
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's strange. It was strange.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Otherwise, I don't mind being there live and Mania starting at 4, the festivities starting at 4, and then having an evening afterwards. Pretty spectacular, to be fair. It's quite a nice little vibe.
Time to get dinner.
Well, it was when he was saying, he was like, after Mania, he was like, I'm going to go to Old Reds. And I was thinking, God, he's going to get there late. But realistically, he'd be there by 8:30.
Yeah.
It was like going out for a meal, yeah.
The main event act isn't even on stage yet at that point.
Well, this is it.
It's pretty...
So
I can't go through everything that I did because
it stays in Vegas.
Yeah, they do say that.
Does,
as well.
Yeah, but because it was so jam packed, and you've seen my costing breakdown that I've done. So what I thought of doing was a Vegas top 5.
Nice. Okay. Nice.
Top 5 moments.
Top 5
Can we also
moments.
have the worst 5 moments as well, please?
I never.
There wasn't a moment where you were in the back of an Uber or something. I thought, good God, I'd like to be home right now.
Nah, towards the end, 9 nights in Vegas is a bit much.
Yeah, some say that's 8 too many.
we were exhausted, but we plowed on. We did it. So there was no bad points whatsoever, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can't knock Vegas for anything apart from maybe Ubers. Like you have to get Ubers everywhere. Yeah. So I'll start with number 5, and then we'll go up. All right. So in number 5 was the now infamous roast of WrestleMania.
Woo! Oh yeah. Well, this is a talking.
This is jokes.
This is a talking point now because people are gagging for it and they're trying to remove everything.
Yeah, I have that. I want to know because behind the curtain I was there, and this was a last minute purchase. So we finished Mania like 7:15, 7:30. I think it was 7:30, 7:45, wasn't it? It finished early. Yeah. We managed to get back to the hotel for 8:30, I think. And this wasn't Claire's cup of tea. Let's say
the roast?
Let's say this. The roast, yeah. She didn't think that she'd enjoy it. So she was like, you can go on your own. And I was like, I kind of like, that puts me out of my comfort zone a lot. And I was like, And then I ummed and ahed for about half an hour. This thing started at 9:30.
Okay.
And I was like, I got to about 9:15. I bought a ticket, 5th row from the front. I was like, fudge it. Let's just go for it.
Well, there's a load of tickets available, wasn't there? Is that
there? And there was, yes. It didn't stop people trying to resell tickets for $500 though. But I managed to get an Uber to Fountain Blue, where it was literally just across the road. It was a 15-minute walk anyway. I probably could have walked it, but I didn't want to get all sweaty in that Vegas heat. But I got there and the line was massive. So I was like, okay, phew, I'm not late, and so I can just chill and relax. And we got in, and then I didn't realize it was taking so bloody long because it was a comedy event. So when we got to the ticket part, they scanned my ticket, gave me like a paper receipt thing, and then locked my phone up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they do that.
I was like, now I feel proper. Yeah. So that was the first clue that this was going to be quite a wild night. I got to my seat, and then it was like ticking along. At this point, I had no concept of time because my phone was tucked away. And then they put up on the board, it will approximate start time 10:15. And then after a while, they were like 10:30. And then the the crowd was getting hot. So it didn't start probably until 10:30, 10:45. And people were getting
no phones, just
aggy.
looking forward.
They literally just wanted to start because there was a warm-up act, and then they ushered in some wrestlers to fill the seats. And that's where
you saw some peppercorns.
That's where I saw some peppercorns, but they didn't see me. And they literally, I was like I didn't want to be that guy to go, hey Lou, hey Sam.
You don't have to do it like, you can just say, hey guys.
I know. Yeah. But I don't want to be that guy that he thinks he knows the wrestlers.
But you do, so Bruno, you sleep in their beds. It's different. If you're going, hey Phil, Phil, it's a CM Punk. I mean, that's different. But no.
Weird thing sat behind me though was that the girl influencer that they always use. What's her name?
The blonde woman that does the watch-alongs. Oh
yeah. She was behind me, and then Piper Niven and someone were behind that. So that was
you're right.
It was strange. They were just sparse. And then 4 seats down to me was Carmelo Hayes, and I think he was the only person in the entire thing to be able to get his phone in.
Oh, was he on his phone?
I just saw him on his phone. I was like,
you're burying him here, I'll be careful. You're close to the flame. That guy's going to get released. He might be the one that's releasing all the clips.
Maybe. And then, Sam and Lou came in, and there were literally 2 rows in front of me and like a couple chairs to the left. And I was hoping during it that Lou was just going to take a little peek around to be like, how many people are in this joint? Yeah, and then
just never did. It's got that tricky neck.
It was fine. It was fine though. They thoroughly enjoyed it. Sam was very much clapping and throughout. So, however,
so was there no conversation before, like the text, like you going to the roast? Are you going to the roast?
So literally before it, they were like, because we were organizing to meet up anyway, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the roast. So if we don't get time, hey, by the by, it is what it is. But pretty much at the same time, Lou messaged saying, hey, they're kind of encouraging us to go
use the word forcing
to the roast. So we're gonna do that. If you got tickets or not, if not, then we'll just meet after. And I was like, perfect. I'll be in there anyway. But the roast started. Tony Hinchcliffe did a whole breakdown of Saturday and Sunday and some other jokes. It was very Tony Hinchcliffe stuff. It was there was some cut and dry, like some towing the line bits, like that were a little bit over. That's where most of the Charlotte stuff came from, because I'm reading like people are angry at certain things, but that's where most of the Charlotte stuff came from anyway. And he was just going at everyone, to be fair. But the MVP of the night was Paul Heyman.
I bet.
Yeah, I've seen some of Paul Heyman stuff. I feel like his stuff just felt really mean.
It felt mean. However, like it felt like a different Paul Heyman. Like I haven't really seen him like that. However, he carried that same energy into the McAfee interview the day after and Raw. So I think he's just playing his heel character, but even more so. But some of the stuff he was saying was phenomenal. It was so funny. And that the only thing that I felt a little bit like, ooh, that was him and Fluffy.
Yeah, they had a legit argument and fight afterwards.
I haven't heard about that, but it felt that was the most tension I had felt of the evening. Miz was laughing off the Maurice stuff, which was fine. But he pretty much was putting himself over as the sexiest piece of ass in the company because he has 3 men fighting over him, and he just ran with that.
Yeah.
So it was good. But the other cool thing was Nia Jax and David Lucas. There was some so David Lucas came out first and then was doing some bits on Nia, but he was saying her name wrong. He was saying Nia. Am I right? Is it Nia or Nia? What am I?
Nia. He was saying Nia. It's Nia Jax.
He was saying Nia. Obviously, it's Nia. Whoops, making the same mistake. And then she came out and roasted him, which was quite funny. They then sat next to each other and they're having like a little. It felt very friendly. And then this is why I think that all the stuff coming out where WWE are trying to bury this is completely false, because right at the end, Trips came out.
Yeah.
I don't think that Tony fully knew that he was going to come out. But the first thing Tripp said was, I don't know what's going on, but there's no way that this is how, like, between Nia and David Lucas, there isn't a hope in hell that you two are going to get together.
Yeah, no, I think I've heard the stuff from it. I haven't seen it. You said it was really good. I think, again,
it was so
it depends
fun.
if you're comedy people or watched roasts before, because, I mean, roasts are awful. Yeah, they're brutal.
Absolutely brutal.
So I think it's just depending on...
Especially done properly as well, because there was a lot... Going into this, I was kind of worried it was going to be like...
WDF5.
Yeah, like watered down. They weren't allowed to say certain things. You don't want that. In comedy or roasts, you don't want restrictions.
With roasts, some stuff doesn't hit. That's the point of a roast.
Yeah,
you try a load of stuff and you either bomb or people think it's great. So there's going to be a lot of bad stuff in there and a lot of good stuff.
I'd love to see Heyman's, though. Have you guys watched Heyman's Hall of Fame speech from last year?
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I imagine it's not far off that, is it? Like
it's generally not, and he brought it up as well.
It was so good. Like the energy, it was like ECW Paul Heyman, just saying whatever he wanted.
Well, I think Heyman said he can't believe Fluffy got so offended because he's a professional roaster. And I don't know. I am interested in it because so many videos have come out and then like people have written down all the jokes.
Yeah.
Or like 25 of the worst jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
And everybody are trying to scrub that, I think, just because. But I mean, it's a roast. Like you literally go watch the Tom Brady roast on Netflix. There's some awful stuff in there.
Yeah.
And that's the point. If you sign up for a roast, you're going to get roasted.
What they should do is just make it into like really shady DVDs that you hide on Amazon. You have to really search for like the old Backstage Pass DVD.
Yeah.
Like you got to really look for it in there. Like really find it.
Backstage spam.
Afterwards, I was like, thank God that I got a ticket to that, because I would have regretted that. Being a fan of Tony Hinchcliffe, being a fan of roasts, and a fan of wrestling, and just seeing that, and now it being so sort of wiped, I've got that. Forever.
Your earballs took in the infamous information.
And I'll say this, Bruno, they're never doing it again.
No.
I do hope they do. There was talk. Nick Khan came out right at the end, and they were having an absolute blast.
Oh, really?
I think there's more just negative reaction from
fans. Or people that aren't necessarily fans. They just want a reason to hate the company.
Exactly.
And I'm sure they give plenty of reasons to hate them, but I don't think this is necessarily the one.
Nah. It was honestly thoroughly. Can
I ask you a question? The Fountain Blue, was that where like the Superstar Hotel this year?
Yeah.
Was the lobby like a casino? Because they did like a drone shot into NXT, which I think was the same room as Roast on Tuesday. The TV table.
That Fountain Blue.
No, I was going to say, like, so it was like 2 levels, and there was like casino table.
There was like cars in there and stuff.
Yeah, it looked mad.
It's a gorgeous hotel.
Yeah.
It is. The annoying thing is, our friend Ollie was there, and I didn't get to go over because I was like, if I go over, they're going to be like, what are you doing in this hotel? No, they're not. It's Vegas. Literally, you can go in whatever hotel you want. They hadn't nothing. They couldn't lock anything down at all, like normal that we're used to. So I was a little bit pandering to that, and that was annoying. However, it's a beautiful hotel. Yet every hotel that you basically walk into, there is an entrance where you go through the lobby, and that's where you check in, like the big Caesar's Palace and Bellagio check-in gates. And then literally you walk 20 meters, you're in the casino, and the casino goes forever. And that Fountain Blue one was beautiful because it had like a massive like chandelier bar.
Yeah, I saw that in the drone.
That was in the center, and that's where a lot of the superstars were on Sunday night. I saw Gunther in his going out attire walking through. That was quite surreal.
I bet he looked immaculate.
LA Knight, Jay Cargill was in the middle bar bit. That's pretty much who I saw. But whilst I was waiting for Lou to come down, and Sam, I was just playing roulette, looking at the bar. I was like, oh, what's going on? And then that was
bit fun, isn't it?
But yeah, then the second level went up, and that's where the theater was, and where the Live nightclub is as well. So it's honestly a gorgeous hotel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it looked really cool because it's just something I've not experienced Vegas. And the setup, because obviously like Mania, it's not like you're in Minnesota and it's like like last year when we went to see the boys and hung out for a bit, they kind of had to walk us through like 2 levels of like police to get us through. And then you're kind of in the bar and it's just the friends and family. So you're kind of like, oh God. And like you said, you don't want to feel like you're kind of like keeping your head down because you're like, I don't want, like, everyone's kind of comfortable in here. I don't want to be like, oh, look, there's so-and-so I've seen on the telly. And again, as someone who's been a wrestler, like it feels like you shouldn't do it, but also feels like maybe you should because you know some of them.
Yeah.
But they just don't, it's been a while kind of thing. So you do feel that kind of weird kind of,
that you can't explain that feeling if you haven't been in that position before where you're in that environment and all you want to do is maybe say hello, but you're caught in like a conundrum in your brain of whether or not to, because it feels
definitely
weird.
I'm interested by what the next 4 things are.
Okay, we won't go that was, I think, obviously that was 5, but
it was like Joe's engagement story where there was a load of build up and then you were like, and then there was some jokes.
Yeah, I apologize.
I'm joking.
Number 4 was the UTVs in the desert.
Didn't someone get hurt?
That was,
someone always gets hurt.
So it was like a 2-hour jaunt it was windy that day as well. So it was about half an hour outside of downtown Vegas.
And that was like the Friday, wasn't it? Because I was watching the rally party and the mics were awful. And I said, is it windy? And you sent that video of in like a car park and it was just like blowing.
That didn't get better that day. That was so windy. And then even on the way through, we were in like a 4x4 and he was like struggling to keep on the road. And I was like, it was mental. And then when we got there, it was quite windy.
Did you see a tumbleweed?
As well. I think I did in a way.
You should have put it in the group if you got a video of it and just said, this is when Kieran talks and just send it to Kieran. That was a gag. Shout out to Kieran. He's done it, made his own gym and it looks really cool.
Oh my, yeah.
I just saw,
built himself
I want to bring Kieran into the conversation. That's all he has, yeah.
So yeah, we got there and then it was like taking a while because people were arriving late, which was annoying. I was like, oh, that's going to cut into our time, but it didn't. They just gave us 2 hours from when they were starting. So drove out of the thing. There were strict laws with the UTV stuff as well, because you can't drive on roads with them. Otherwise, you actually do break laws.
Okay. So it's like free reign, like just drive across the desert, basically.
Literally free reign. Apart from it was like, they gave us some... They were like, if you see those mountains up there, only go up if you feel like you're confident. If you're not, don't do it because it's not worth it. The exact same views. But when we drove across the road, it was like quite a steep thing to get down to just even like the original part. And then it was 2 hours of fun. Claire and I just switched like 3 times each, had a little go. There was one sketchy moment where we were about to go up one of the hills and it's completely blind and someone came over the top. But you
paid money for this.
If we were a little bit sooner, oh my days, that would have been
decapitated.
It would have been curtains. But right at the end, so we were like, because it shakes you. So it was a proper workout.
Yeah, you remember that drive I did in that Jeep?
And, yeah.
I shook for 3 days.
And I had so much dirt in my mouth from the wind and everything. Just like, so I was like,
oh wow.
So
no way.
We called it about 15 minutes early. Yeah. We got back probably about third people back, and then we heard on the radio someone's rolled their UTV, and they were like, and then the 2 people that came back before were like, oh my god, it's Johnny. Like,
of course it was Johnny.
It's always a Johnny.
Johnny's a nut.
It's always Johnny.
What happened to Johnny then? Do you know?
He's dislocated his shoulder or broke his collarbone.
He's hanging out of his buggy.
Fantastic.
He's the one that came over the top of you.
So they were literally trying to go out to fetch it. Apparently there wasn't much damage to the UTV.
That's important.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I didn't, because that's all they pretty much said. Like, if you
dislocate your joints, but just don't hurt our UTV.
But the only thing they were like were, we have a first aid kit that's in the corner. We don't know how to use it. So
this is the Wild West. What's this Gary's local buggies? This doesn't feel like a professional setup.
Can you imagine if I did this at many tiers? Like when volunteers come in, I'm like, by the way, you can go anywhere in the rescue. Yeah. See that big dog over there where it says staff only? You can go in there if you feel confident.
Yeah, all our dogs are really.
See that first aid kit? We've got one.
Yeah, we don't have to use it, but we do know how to use it, and also the big dog's lovely.
Many tiers, yeah.
Yep.
So
because in the video, it felt like you weren't going that fast. It felt like you were
I would say we reached a max speed of about 25 miles an hour.
Okay. So you went and got some mud in your mouth and just moved around in a car.
It was 20, 25, 30. You can't build up that much speed.
I want to know what Johnny was going. Let's get Johnny on the podcast.
I wish. It's frightening. It's quite exhilarating.
Yeah, it does. I bet like 50 miles per hour is really adrenaline rush. Did you not try and flip it or anything? Or did you not whip the back out or anything?
No.
Oh, really?
I was not spending any more money.
Yeah, that's fair.
And two, I don't want to break this face.
I was just going to say Vegas and its expenditure. Peter Rosenberg was talking about it. He was like, I've never been to a WrestleMania. He said, I got in from WrestleMania. I did not want to go out again. He said, I looked at my mini bar and he went, I'm going to have the water because I'm not drinking tap water in Vegas. He was like, and he didn't eat. And I think you said it was like $75 or something for a bottle of water. He was like, this is why Mania should always be in the business district of San Antonio or something. Yeah. He said, because Mania he said, the Ubers were out of control. Yeah. And then he was like, the food, he said, it's very rare you can find a food place that is like, $10, $15, you're going to get a meal. You're going to spend money because everywhere's a top end proper restaurant.
Yeah.
So
there are definitely places. It is tough though, but there are definitely places.
Yeah. It's like services prices. So you go like Wingstop and it's like
the bad thing is in any hotel shop, there are no prices on absolutely anything.
Terrifying.
Just chips.
Because they love their dynamic pricing.
Before we get to well, you said that.
What's up?
They love the dynamic pricing. Yeah, you're going to put a tariff on it probably. Before we continue, is any of the next three things going to be anything to do with gambling?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted people to know how well you did at gambling if you did well. I said this, O'Shea Jackson Jr., who's the son of Hooverin. It's Ice Cube. He was at WrestleMania. He was on his wrestling podcast and he was talking about going to Vegas. He said, well, him and the boys go to Vegas. He said every single time he's ever done it, what he does is he gets his what's the word? The amount of money he's going to take to Vegas and spend.
Yeah.
He said he gets it out in cash. And he said,
yeah, you have to.
And I grab half of it and I put it all on black. As soon as I get to the hotel, before I've got to the room, I put half the whole amount that I've got with me on black. Therefore, I'm either going to have the best one or I'm going to have to be real shady with it.
Yeah, true.
He said, but if I do really well, he was like, then, we might do a bit more. He said, if I do badly, then I'm not gambling anymore. I'm just going to go out and get drinks and whatever. But he was like, that's a good way of doing it. Bruno, what's number 3?
Number 3 was, hold on. So the UTV, there was one area and it was like the Lion King. It was like that area over there, do not touch. That's all I wanted.
What was there?
Timon and Pumbaa.
What was there?
Yeah. They were like, that's near restricted airspace and it's sand. And our UTVs aren't designed for sand. So you'll just get stuck.
Wait, what were you driving?
What were you driving?
Dirt.
Was that not sand?
Dirt and sand, but it's like, it was fine sand. This was fine sand. But anyway, number 3 was the Grand Canyon and the helicopter ride. The infamous helicopter
that you survived.
Ride. I survived it, almost didn't get on it because we got there and they were like, we don't have your booking. I'm like, what? And then they were like, yeah, you were meant to be on it 7 days ago. So between the tour place and Maverick, the people that did the helicopter,
if it was Maverick, of course it went wrong.
they booked the wrong date, and then however the girl Claire was very helpful and she managed to get us back on for a later ride. However, it meant that we couldn't spend more time in the other places.
Okay,
but it was nice. We saw Eagle Point. We then went to the third point, which had no guardrails at all.
All of this feels like the Wild West, bro.
Actually, it literally is. It literally is.
It's on Native American land.
Okay. Do they not like guardrails in the Native American?
They try and keep it pure, don't they?
What is it? Well, I'm sure they loved all the 1,000 tourists standing around, and you getting your doppelganger was in there somewhere, probably hidden. Are you going to get to that?
What?
2 separate people came up to you to see if you're going back.
Yes, they did. They did. I never found it. I never found my doppelganger, which was very strange because we then left.
So literally 2 separate people came and asked you the same question.
They were marking you.
Yeah.
They were marking you. Yeah.
I think so. But we then finally got on our helicopter ride, and we were with 2 Aussies because I think before that they were like, we're Aussie, but people think we're British. Yep. And then the helicopter driver asked where we were from. I was like, England. And he was like, oh, we can finally find out then. That's what I gathered from that. And obviously I could pick up on their accent.
Yeah. We've always got mistaken for Aussies.
I do at work.
Even at work here, we get it.
Constant.
And that's in Wales.
Very,
true.
Very, 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 very strange. So on the way down, he said, do you want to go on the front? Or on the back on the way down.
You were outside the vehicle.
There you go,
and I was like, oh, we'll go back. We'll go in the back on the way down. So he took us up, and it was about a 7-minute trip down to the bottom of this canyon. We parked up. We had about 20 minutes to take in sort of the views and whatnot. Beautiful, breathtaking, quite surreal, really. And then it was like a 7 to 10 minute journey back up. So helicopter time was about 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
Of this thing.
I'll say this, Bruno. I've got 2 questions. The first one is if at the bottom of that one, if the guy got you 4 out, the 2 Aussies you knew to, and he flew up 7 to 10 minutes. And then everyone disappeared. How long would you survive? And how long until you eat the Aussies?
With that heat and
no water, like whatever was on you. Probably knowing him a prime and like a USB port or something.
No. I didn't take any extra weight. I was terrified.
Shaved his beard as well.
I was trying to be the lightest I've ever been.
He didn't have one hair on his body. They're like Buddha in the corner, they're chilling, isn't he? He's like, don't move. He's dead still. Then you could have worn clothes. Now how long do you reckon you're surviving down there? Like, I don't know what time this was, like 4 in the afternoon. Like, what do you reckon you're getting to nightfall?
No, this was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was above 30 and hot. Hot, humid. There were probably snakes very close to it. There was a body of water, so I might have been able to seal it around it. You know, just get in there and
gotcha.
See where the lazy river takes me. Mm-hmm. But
further down. Rivers always go down, brother. They never go up. I've learned that in my history.
I'm never getting out that canyon, so I would be dead, and I think the Aussies would be chowing down on my body right now. But they would last for a while.
After a while, don't they? The coyotes start to appear.
Oh, they do.
The wolves come out at night.
I reckon some hawks or whatever would have been.
Well, I have a question, Bruno. If one gorilla walked out, there was 100 of you down there. Are the 100 people taking the gorilla? This is what the people want to know in amongst the story.
I know.
I'm getting to it now because I just sort of filter into amongst Vegas stuff.
Perfect. Yeah.
I have a strong opinion on this.
Okay.
I've had a similar conversation with Lewis in a Dave and Buster's once.
How many people?
100 people.
100 people.
One gorilla.
One gorilla.
Can the people stop the gorilla? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely not a chance.
No,
not a chance.
Is this?
What?
Hey,
Okay.
let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are the people willing to hurt the gorilla?
Yes, that's the point of this. Like, you're going to hurt the gorilla.
Okay, then no. The gorilla's going to tire out.
This guy's never spent enough time around gorillas.
We're gonna lose a few good men.
A few.
Probably the week. So Joe will be gone, but then You'll be there. I'll finish it. I'll bring it home for the boys.
You just called me weak.
Yeah, he did. Here's the thing, okay? How much? I'm going to ask you a couple based, gorilla based.
I'm going for the eyes.
Okay. You can't get near him. Okay.
There's 100 people on his back.
I saw one on TikTok last night that was like,
I might convince him. Question: how much do you think they can bench press? What's the most you've ever bench pressed? 130 kilos?
150.
I've done about 110 because I don't want to tear my pecs off my body. Bruno's done, 75? No, I'm kidding.
And you call me weak?
No, yeah. That's kind of normal, yeah?
Yeah.
Gorilla, average bench press, 2,800 kilos.
He's not bench pressing.
Shut up.
No, that's real, okay?
That's silly.
Okay. His hand, with one hand, he could crush your skull within a second.
While he's crushing one person's skull, though.
That's their grip strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You're going to chuck him out? What neck?
You got to take the eyes.
He hasn't got a neck.
You got to take the eyes.
You go near there, hurt, that's gone. Someone jumps in his head. And you also think 100 people are going to all at once go, yeah, let's agree, let's do it. Who's going to go first?
These are weapons.
So I'll say this, no weapons.
No weapons.
Guys, everyone can have a sharp object each.
The
gorilla's still winning. Right. I'm saying, yeah. I've got nature's knives right here.
Weapons.
Exactly. The gorilla, yeah, if he pushes you like that, you die instantly. That's what they think.
No.
Yes, his strength, because if he can bench press 2,000 kilos, when he does that on your chest, he stops your heart and breaks your back.
Do you reckon they do tire, though?
I say this. I've been around for 35 years. I've never seen a gorilla tired. I don't know if anyone else agrees, but have you seen one?
I haven't seen one.
I've seen one half sleeping and he wakes up because like a watermelon comes in and he's like, oh yeah, and he goes, brother, like, what are we kidding? Like, AI have made a simulation of it, and the gorilla comfortably kills everyone. Yeah. Unalives. Because people start scattering. Because once 30 people go down,
everyone's running.
The other people start to go, you know what? I don't want to have a go now.
It's never 100 versus 1, is it? It's never 100 versus 1.
It's 3 or 4 on one, isn't it? Because how many? You can't get close enough.
Yeah.
So he goes, he pushes me so hard, I die on going back. I've hit heads with you. We're so simple. We hit heads. That's it for us.
And that is why the human race will cease to exist.
Yeah, exactly. Because the gorillas will take over. Can you imagine one just trying to touch Bruno's neck? He just gently goes this. Bruno's like,
I'd like to see a gorilla gently touch someone's neck.
He can, though. Brother can be soft if he wants.
And that's why I think gorillas will win.
Have you ever seen them eat a banana?
Yeah.
They literally just like,
it's like liquid, isn't
it? They just chill. Like,
it's liquid.
No, but he's just like, and then like a guy comes in, whoosh, like you turn to dust when he hits you.
What do they eat?
Fruit.
Grass and bananas.
Fruit and 100 men.
How are they so strong?
Yeah, I got a diet of fruit and 100 men.
Because I've seen some people that live on fruit and they don't seem that strong.
Brother, they look tired all the time. Yeah.
Do you reckon we should start eating grass and stuff?
Yeah.
This is what I think we're getting to. We probably should. I also don't think we're grilling.
We're not, no.
We were.
No.
Not to offend anyone. But I mean.
We're close.
We are very close.
We evolved.
But.
We devolved, really.
Yeah.
Would you rather the brain or would you rather the size?
Size,
always
horsepower.
If I could look like Braun Strowman, my life is made.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? The gorilla makes Braun Strowman look like a little guy.
That's terrible.
You know he does the Braun Strowman?
True. What? Okay, 100 Braun Strowmans or Braun Breakers. What are we saying?
I think Braun Breaker might be more.
Dynamic.
He's the one you want because if you got 100 of them all running at once,
at
him.
100.
And you might be in trouble. But I mean, he's still also just picture because do you know what happens when you spear him? You tear your shoulders up like Johnny in the sand. Like you're going to be like, oh my god, and then he's going to go. You seen their mouths? Like
we're talking about gorillas or Braun Breaker.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm fairly sure. Let us know in the comments what you think. But I mean, I couldn't be.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Before coming into this, I was like, nah, 100 people will outnumber, but. You've got me on board. I'm completely on your side now.
Literally, I think he could pick Braun up and he could bend him until that was it.
Oh,
I'd love to see it. Can we just get like 100 of the worst people in the world
and let the gorilla just go to town?
Yeah,
that'd be quite fun.
I'm sure you can find him on Twitter somewhere.
I'd pay good money for that. That might make me sick, but
Yeah.
I've paid
Mate,
your money for it.
after like 30 seconds of watching it, you're like, we need to stop this. This is horrible. I just don't want the gorilla to get hurt. That's my issue.
No,
He's not getting hurt, apparently.
Mate, you could. People.
You think he's
I think
bulletproof?
some people believe that you can't pierce it with a sharp object.
Quick question. If they're that strong, how the hell do they get them in a zoo?
Because they're so sweet. They go, do you want to come in here and we'll give you fruit? And he goes,
Because some humans got them in a zoo at some point.
how strong Bruno
Have
is.
some
Look
tranks.
how big and strong Bruno is. You get a creme brulee or something, you go in any room. That's a fact. That's a fact.
How dare you?
I don't know why I use
How
great. It should be
dare you.
tiramisu. Bruno, number 3 was what? I can't remember where we were. Grand Canyon.
That was the Grand Canyon and the helicopter ride. That was. I'm so happy. 1, I got to go back into Arizona. Let's go. And 2, experience the Grand Canyon. Like that is just top.
Yeah, we've been to Arizona and we just
Memories
haven't.
never forget.
We've never.
Nah, it's way too north of Phoenix. Way. Like
Yeah.
that would be a complete jaunt to get up there.
Look, quick question. What SPF were you using? Because you're not burnt and you're glowing.
Yeah, you look great.
My God, I looked after myself
I can
with
see
hydration and SPF 50.
You did well there.
So
You're near the 50
Can you
on.
imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine if I didn't?
You look toasty bronze.
Thank you.
Joe uses a -10.
I do appreciate. Yeah, I know. Joe
Yeah.
uses oil.
Enhancer. Joe uses an enhancer.
Not anymore.
Joe would have been in the bottom of the canyon, lads.
Leave me here. You
Yeah,
guys go back up.
He would
I'll
have
just-
thrown the hands behind his
Put
head.
some
He
more
would have gone.
oil on.
He would have had his shorts rolled up so much that they were
Yeah.
non-existent.
He's like, I need to get everywhere as much as possible without offending
I
him.
need no lines.
And he's just gonna.
I pop my infos in. I'm good.
He's like,
guys head
all
back.
his chest hairs all are mixed up now.
I had to move to the 3/4 sock because I was getting tan
3/4
lines.
sock. Fantastic.
The ankle sock,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, the 3/4. No, I tell you what, my current batch of socks, I would describe them as a 3/4. They don't quite get over my ankle bone, but they're not ankle socks. They're like kids socks.
I purposely bought some like that though.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I did as well, but I don't know. They're not great for cuff like cargos. Because I can feel the cuff really working my ankle over between my socks.
No, do you know what? I like to wear my socks up here.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
I
big
get
enough.
them right below my knee.
I get some real
It
issues with my
feels
calves.
good.
when I
It feels
do that.
nice.
Bruno, what's number 2?
Number 2 is probably the
He's number
best show I will ever see in my life, and I would go back every single time to go watch it.
Night 2.
And that is O by Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, wow.
I cannot express enough how good
Whoa.
that show was.
Really?
It was from start to finish. It had me hooked.
Did it tell a story? That's the question. Is it just
Briefly,
gymnastics?
it did.
Is it just people
It
jumping
did.
around?
And
This one?
did Travis Scott turn up?
Huh?
Did Travis Scott turn up at the end?
No.
Did Fiend play?
Yeah.
Unfortunately
Bruno,
not.
can I just quickly...
WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 didn't even reach my honorable mentions, and I spent the most.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh my God.
it was good. WrestleMania was good. I
It's
enjoyed
always
it,
a
and Claire
spectacle.
enjoyed it too. So,
Um,
that's all that matters. However, did so much stuff that it didn't even make my top
Oh,
5.
yeah, that's fair. It shouldn't be. It should, like, I'd say this, WrestleMania should be ashamed of itself. It should be in Bruno's top 5. When Bruno was having that sandwich in that car in Orlando a couple months ago,
Yeah.
do you remember I said to him, do you know the Mania theme song? And he goes, no. And I go, Fiend by Travis Scott. And he goes, no. And then we played and he goes, don't know it. And I went, it's played every 30 seconds on Raw and SmackDown. And he goes, no, I don't know this one. Do you know it now, Brun?
You must have heard it enough.
Do you want to hear an Easter egg? They played it 17 times.
Yeah.
The 17th time was him walking out to help Cena win his 17th championship.
That's mad.
Shut
The
up.
numbers.
Over 2
That's fun.
2 days, they
That's
played it
fun.
17 times.
That's fun.
Yeah, you mind your head on our lovely floating shelves back here.
Yeah, that was that song. I think has just been like
Incredible.
telepathically put into people. Now,
Yeah, it is. Okay, so what's so
by Cirque
great
du
about
Soleil.
this gymnastics?
So it was all water.
Okay.
So it was like the biggest stage water I've ever seen in my entire life, and it like stages came up from it, so it then became solid, and then went.
Oh, like
down.
Usher.
Oh,
Usher always does that, doesn't he?
but I was bought in from the get go because there was like this weird, creepy guy that came out and was like,
"Yeah, red."
And then they picked someone from the crowd, and then he was because the main creepy guy couldn't talk, so he got him to do like please make sure that you don't record or have your phones on silent. And then he was going to go back to his seat, but he got caught up, and then he got yanked right up into the air, and then
dropped.
The curtains just trickled over the water, and then the music just started, and I was like,
sensory overload.
I'm in so hard. And then because we were 3 rows from the front, I didn't realize I bought such good tickets, but we were 3 rows from the front, and throughout the whole thing there was like just these mad things coming. They were diving in, but they were coming out of nowhere. Like, it started and it felt like the people had been underwater for forever. They started doing some things, but it just looked so satisfying. And then about every 5 minutes or so, these red men would come running out, and the way that they ran
Old Trafford again
was the best.
How are they running, Bruno? Do it with your fingers. Like, try and explain it with your fingers. Guys, make sure you YouTube to see this. I like that.
Honestly, and I liked it so much that I got an action figure of them. I will show you how they ran, because there has to be something online where it shows them. The trailer does not give it justice, even though it looks incredible in the trailer. But it's in the Bellagio. The theater looks incredible. It smells incredible because it's a massive swimming pool. It just had me. It just had me from second one.
I think we're learning a lot about you.
That was joyous listening to him describe that.
I say this: the brother just mentioned to us in his top 5, going a giant hole in the ground, driving 20 miles per hour on dirt, and people using Usher's stage. Yeah. That was his highlights. WrestleMania didn't touch it. Logan Paul, AJ Styles didn't touch it. If only they just had some sensory music on and people were swimming, and we would have had a bigger fan than Bruno there. We're learning a lot about you about that.
I'm interested in what's number 1 though.
But I'm also interested, Bruno. Have you been to Cirque du Soleil before?
No, this was my first ever proper Cirque du Soleil. So it blew me away. Like, there are 3 others in Vegas. So there's this one, and then there's the Michael Jackson. There's the one in Mandalay Bay, and there's another one. So there's 4 altogether.
I've gone to see Nicholas Jackson once, and it wasn't anything.
there's one in New York. Michael Jackson's in Harrah's, I think, and then this one in the Bellagio. But it was incredible.
How much did that set you back? Actual money?
120, 50 quid a ticket.
I don't want to say how middle class we are, but that's not bad.
That's not too bad at all.
In Vegas,
no, it generally wasn't, and it was. I'd go. I was like,
you go all about it. Vegas just is it.
Yeah, I can't. I will, and every time I go back to Vegas, because Vegas has got me now. Like, I've got the.
You'll end up underneath it soon. I went to see one in London. I think it was at the O2. And it was.
I thought you might have gone to one in Orlando as well.
I don't think I have. I think I've been to 2. I think in the UK, and that's it. But this one was like the pinball thing, where the stage goes up like 100 feet, but there's loads of spikes, and they keep falling down it, and then they just like their stomachs land on it, and they'll spin around, and they'll go down, and then one would just fall off the top.
Jesus.
Yeah, sounds like an AEW show. Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. It was a love story, pretty much.
Of course it was.
And it was just gorgeous.
It was a love story. Did you not see Triple H come out night 1 and Stephanie night 2?
I've realized that I have to sit 3 rows back for every show that I've got I go to now, because that was phenomenal. So yeah, that was number 2.
Before we go to number 1, we got a quick side quest.
Okay.
I just want to talk about the rat and frog conspiracy quickly.
There's also something that I want to bring up that you've watched and recommended me to watch.
The frog and rat, apparently everyone is naturally will look more like a rat or a frog.
Yeah.
And I have in my head, I think we got a set of rats in here. I think all three of us, I think, are rats. Yeah,
100%.
I don't think there's any question about it. But saying that, we were with Lisa the other night, and she reckons I'm a frog.
Yeah,
and I think it's just because I have dimples and a wider face. But that's the only.
No, we're rats.
I'm a rat. I'm a
Nah.
rat.
Yeah, we're rats.
I'm a rat.
I reckon that. Yeah, that. Unfortunately, you are.
I don't
yeah.
think siblings can be two different things either.
No, I don't think so.
Albeit, mum.
Mum might be a frog. I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? Like Bruno, I'd say you're a definite rat, but it's because you're more mousy.
Yeah,
You definitely have a big mouse feature.
yeah.
Not a rat feature, because we wouldn't say Bruno's a rat.
No,
That's
we
not
should
that.
say mouse, really.
But I'd say this: I think Lou's a rat and Sam's a frog. I don't know if anyone.
Yes.
Do you reckon-
Do we all agree?
Oh wow.
Yes.
Do you think rodent or frog is probably going to be nicer?
Yeah,
isn't it?
rodent or frog. I don't know if that sounds any better, to be honest.
Nah.
I think Lou's a rodent and Sam's a frog. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do we agree?
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Because I'm going to throw,
Yeah.
Bruno, I'm going to throw a name out. Taylor Swift. What's that? Yeah,
Rat.
it's a rat. She's a rat.
Mm.
It's not even close. The Rock.
What about
It's a frog.
Mbappe?
Mbappe's a frog. And that's not because he's French. And I know you sent me down that road
He set
there.
you up there.
He set me up. But he's definitely a frog.
Yeah,
Yeah, the rocks. The rocks. Are
Danny
frog,
DeVito.
yeah.
That's a frog.
yeah, 100% King
Bruno
Goat.
Fernandez. That's a rat. That might actually be
He's
a rat.
That's King Rat.
He's
You just
King Rat.
named King Frog and King Rat. Back
King
to back.
Rat. I think we've got to be careful with the frog part. Anyway, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but Joe and Lisa brought it up the other day. I had never heard it.
Where did you pick that up from?
Apparently,
Joe?
it's a TikTok thing.
It's a big TikTok thing.
All right, that hasn't popped up on my old algorithm.
No. Bruno's just got big-breasted women cooking like shrimp or something. That's all. That's his whole algorithm. And then he sends it to me, and then I just heart it, and he goes, "Why are you not doing more?" It's like, "What do you want me to do?" Do you mean, oh, look at that shrimp.
Oh no!
I had a poke bowl today. I'm just going to talk about this. It's probably more important than Bruno's.
Ooh.
I like poke balls from
Wasn't it Pikachu?
yeah, the co-op do the poke balls. And they do like salmon and avocado. They do like chicken and
Are they decent though?
they're actually all right. They're cold, but it's like rice, there's mixed peppers, there's cabbage that's been what Bruno did.
Do you know what's next to where the poke bowl? Do you know what's next to where the poke bowl is?
Sushi.
No, the hot dogs that I like.
Yeah, I will never buy that.
Why did you buy 10 hot dogs? That
We got
day?
6. It was the last they had. Lisa sent me out because she wanted hot dogs because she discovered these hot dogs like I showed her.
All right.
And then on a Sunday, she said, "Do you know what I really want? One of those hot dogs." I said, "How many do you want?" She went, maybe 2 each. She went, "Just get whatever's there." And I went in there and I emptied them out and there was 6 left. I took them and we ate them. We did it. We had 4 the weekend as well.
Joe, they're not good.
They're so good.
They're not good for you.
Shout out roll over hot dogs.
In my whole life, I've had 2 gas station hot dogs. One in Miami, and then everyone had me bent over, tapping my belly to try and release it for 2 days. And then the other one I had was local in Lampeter. I had food poisoning. Same time I had food
Was it
poisoning.
one of those?
Yes.
I think it was.
It was the yellow pack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I was caught in a pinch and I wanted hot food. And I was like, oh, that'll be all right. That won't hurt me.
Yeah.
Hurt me. The poke bowl.
Wait, on the way here though, I tried to get one. They were out.
Good.
Because we ate them all.
Yeah, I bet. £6 of these poke bowls.
Ooh.
So I don't really buy
I think
it.
roll over hot dogs will set you back only half the price of that.
So what I did is there was a reduced £1.
No.
It was going off. It was 4:00 yesterday. And do you know what I bought? You know, like the mixed prawns you can eat straight away that are like the bigger prawns, but they got the like Cajun seasoning on them. $3.50 for that. Added that to the poke bowl. Oh my god, I had a good time. Anyway, that totally off topic. But what have I recommended before we get to number 1?
You recommended because you even was like
You was even.
you
Oh, I've got my new worst thing is. Have you ever noticed when people go, "It's what I would like to call." They say that before they say anything.
Yeah.
But you know what I like it is when people do that, but then say something dead normal. So it'd be like, oh, like have you got like one of these? It's like it's what I would like to call a graded card.
Oh.
You know, like, that's what we all call it. That's my favorite. That was my favorite.
So you did recommend a film in the past couple episodes, and I think it's possibly one of the worst films I've seen recently, and that is, which breaks my heart as well, Josh Hartnett and Trap.
Oh, that's a great film. Yeah, that's such a good film.
It's a great film.
The acting and the cut some of the
Yeah.
editing in
That's
that
the point.
film
It's M. Night Shyamalan.
and the storyline. Is it really? All right, I'm not a fan of M. Night. All right,
No, that's
this is that was
so good,
so bad.
Yeah, but it's so funny.
That's so good.
Is that meant?
It's meant to be funny. Yeah, that's not what he was going for. That's
Really?
the point of the film. Yeah,
I didn't. Okay,
it's a horror comedy. It's like Evil Dead. It's supposed to be like
goofy. Yeah.
It's like Bray Wyatt doing the Firefly Funhouse. It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like creepy and weird.
Maybe I don't respect his work or haven't like.
Well, you need people to be like in like 2 inches of war and it's moving around or something. Don't know why I got so protective of that film. Sorry.
And Josh Hartnett,
I shouldn't have done that.
Josh Hartnett has never done anything. No, he's never done anything wrong. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I didn't enjoy.
Where did you watch it
on
on
Saturday night? No, at Josh's house.
What did Josh think?
He was the same.
Oh my god, he must have been like, "This is awful." And you must have gone. You'd have gone, "Isn't it, sir?" That's a nipple I'm doing just for the record, just in case YouTube wants to take that down. Peppercorn Boys, great thumbnails. Bruno, was number one?
Number one was gambling with Peppercorn 3 and 4.
Yeah, number 3 and 4.
Those couple of nights that we had together were
pretty deadly.
They were pretty deadly, weren't they?
Pretty deadly, pretty gorgeous, strictly gorgeous. The best time ever. That was fun. The first night we so
was that when you first got in?
It was the next night. It was the next night after we got in. We were pretty much anyway. So it was the Wednesday night. We had Hell's Kitchen already. They had just gotten in that day or that night, and they were venturing out. I was like, "Hello, what have we got here?" Came up, and then we walked the strip a bit. We were trying to find some drinks. I bought us all a big funnel.
I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen you gripping one of them. Yeah.
Me and Lou had daiquiris. Can't remember what Claire had, and I think we got. What did we get, Sam? I can't remember what we got, Sam, but we were just looking for some drink. Then we went to the Bellagio, and we played some roulette. We played some blackjack. Me, Sam, and Lou. That was fun. We were so novice that both times that we played blackjack, the dealers were teaching us how to play.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I don't think that's a good thing.
That's not good.
I think sometimes they might know what they're doing there.
So that was time just flies. And the one thing that I think you won't be able to deal with in Vegas is that all casinos you can smoke in. So oh my god, the cigar smell, smoke and mist in the air is actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
At least it was cigars, though.
I don't mind, real stuff.
Proper, yeah.
It's a vape, but I'm sure people are vaping.
It's a mixture.
Oh, if they were vaping in there, I would have strawberry smoke in my face, you know?
Weirdly, I didn't see that much vaping in Vegas at all.
Just real leaf.
Yeah. It was.
How close? So the hotel they were at, how close were you?
15-minute walk, literally across the street.
So it was like over the big strip. Like the main thing.
Yeah. But we were North Strip. So we were they pretty much had to walk about half an hour to get to the Bellagio that night.
Did you meet at the Bellagio or did you go meet them?
No, we met just by Hell's Kitchen, by Caesars and between Caesars and the Bellagio we met. It was beautiful. It was like a little meet cute. Like I was on the phone to Lou. It's like, where are you? What can you see? And I can see some men with some dolphin tails. I was like, I think I know where you are. And he was like, you're above me, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, I am. And then we saw, and then it was
that's awesome.
It was just magical.
How was Hell's Kitchen?
Hell's Kitchen was incredible. So good.
Best.
I had the beef Wellington, of course.
I've never had one. I really wanted.
That looks so good.
What was your best meal? This is quick fire now, okay?
This is tough because I spent $180 on a American Wagyu ribeye in Prime. That was delicious. However, I think that the sushi that I got in Fuhu, which was in Resorts World, was phenomenal. And then the fried rice that I had after, that was great. Brezza that I had on that final day, where I had the tiger prawn, followed by the beef ravioli and then the tiramisu, which was beautiful.
God, I'm hungry.
I honestly, I can get enough, and even In and Out, like taking my In and Out virginity, that was good. Big man grown up, he can have sauce in burgers.
So
now,
important.
so
Once you get sauces and gherkins in there, the world's your oyster. So quick fire, what was your best meal? Grill it ahead. He's about to push you in the chest. What is it?
I'm gonna go prime. The prime.
Okay.
The steak that I had.
What was your favorite Mania night?
Night 2.
What was your favorite gambling thing, like activity?
Roulette.
Roulette was your best.
Roulette.
What was your best winning?
My best winning was, it was $800, wasn't it? I think I showed the thing. However, in Fremont Street, I got so lucky. I put $20 into a fruit machine, which I don't normally play slot machines or fruit machines, whatever they are.
Yeah, you throw $20 in the fruit.
Second thing, I upped the bet a little bit, pressed go, and then it just started going credits. I was looking at Claire. I was like, when's it going to stop? I was like, is this dollars that it's doing, or is this like, is this going to convert like $500 into a certain thing? I won $500 on that fruit machine.
Should have left. That should have been it.
That I did leave. And then, so at one point, for gambling wise, so I took out $600. Let's say that I did 300 in the airport, 300 in the Bellagio that first night that wheel with Sam and Lou. I was up at one point to $1,500.
Wow. If you were up on that, I genuinely, if it was me, I would struggle not to put half of that on like red. Just once and be like, that's it. And if I fail, I'm taking the 750 home. If I succeed, then this is going to carry on.
Yeah.
In a way, I kind of did that because on the last couple of days, I was getting greedy. I was like, I need to get a little bit, and I was putting $200 in at a time. And we went round the last day. We went round a couple hotels. It didn't feel real.
That's what you get.
Bruno, it's adult Dave & Buster's, and you see the way I'm scatting around that place.
Yeah. Oh my god. So we went around the last day. I lost $200 in Mandalay Bay. I lost $200 in Excalibur. I then tried to make it up in Circus, lost.
Oh god!
Yeah,
I then
it really feels like you're not talking about a real place. And then I went into the Roundhouse. And then I went into Mr. Blob's.
I went into Fountain Blue because I was going to show Claire how nice the hotel was. And I thought, I did well here the other night. I got a rewards card. Let's do it. Nat lost
so
another 100 or.
Were you up or down when you came home?
I came back with $780 in cash.
Nice.
So technically, I'm $180 up in cash.
Smash and grab.
That's it. You see my spreadsheet.
Yeah, I mean, your spreadsheet is honestly terrifying. Here's a guy that scales his excitement. He scaled him today for us into his top 5. But I mean, I thought you were about to go smashing. And I was like really thrown off by it. That really caught me. What else is there? If you went back again, what did you do that you would never do again?
Oh, I probably won't do a helicopter tour or the Grand Canyon potentially. Yeah. I might do that if I go to Arizona. So I might knock that off then. I think it's a great place to visit. I don't need to do a helicopter tour again. I would probably do the UTVs again.
Maybe go up to 30 miles per hour would be cool.
Yeah. I won't. I'd love to see you in those to see how fast you would.
Yeah, Bruno, you wouldn't catch me dead in one of them. Honestly, today I went in the car, went 40 miles per hour. It was brilliant.
And then I wouldn't spend £3,500 on WrestleMania tickets.
By the way, Bruno, have you seen what the price for SummerSlam is?
Yeah.
They've sold out for the 2 nights, 40 grand.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
They've sold out the front row.
It's stupid.
They're out of control. By the way, though, I'll just say this. If I went, I would have gone to the world once, Bruno. How much was it?
$60.
Oh, that's not bad. It was better. $75. And by the way, it was badly ran last year. Apparently, it was a lot better this year. People that go most years.
It looked all right.
It was better than apparently last year was just a bit chaotic. Like you couldn't really meet anyone.
Was that the first year of the world?
There was no wrestling either.
Wasn't last year the first year of the world?
Yes.
It was.
Getting used to it, fanatics and stuff.
But there was wrestling on it. It felt more like
Access. Apparently that was the big difference because last year there was no ring or anything. It was just kind of like a dark. It was a dark.
It was quite cool. It was quite cool how they did that. Do you know the Superstar entrance that people line up to do? They turned that into the entrance for the ring.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. I saw a green shirt guy literally walk the ramp at WrestleMania as well. How do you do that?
Green shirt guy?
I have no idea.
You got to get punched by CM Punk.
That's not the We're not going into that conspiracy. I checked the tickets the day of the Mania because I was like, if I was there, could I get a ticket? $25.
Was it?
Yeah, they were going. They were wanting a sellout.
Oh, I would have been sat outside. I would have done $25 both nights. I would have done the world.
I did.
That was me.
Yeah, I would have done the same.
I did like our tickets, our seats, but were they worth that? Probably.
That's
not.
why, honestly, go to Mania. Like if you're ever in town, go to Mania, but just buy them the day off.
Yeah.
I think I will because I kind of only did that because I wanted to give Claire that experience. Anyway, I probably would have been a little bit more nonchalant. I like just being in the area for
Mania. Yeah, same.
I don't. I've done it. I've done what is it like 7 to 10 of them now. I don't necessarily need. I can just chill and watch them in a bar or I think that would be quite cool. There were so many places.
Was that SmackDown?
Yeah, that were doing watch-alongs. That I was like, that could have been cool.
In Philly, we did the World on Thursday, and then we did Mania Night 1, where we bought them on the day. Probably spent less than $100 total on wrestling. Watch Night 2 in a bar where they were selling Stone Cold's beer, and they did like Philly cheesesteaks and a huge screen.
Nice.
But the people in there were all people that kind of like local, but they got super into it. So it was like we were all like, yeah. Like it was like better, more than you would at the show kind of thing. It was a really good experience. But yeah, just taking in the atmosphere is enough.
That's what I used to do. I used to spend my money on the plane ticket and the hotel, and I'd just come.
Sometimes not even that.
Sometimes not even that. But I'd come there with you guys mainly just to kind of
take it in.
Yeah, just to be in the town, like just to enjoy the vibe. Go to the Access was the big one. Big Access was more in my head. Yeah. Access was the thing I was.
They've added cards to Access, so that'd be a problem for me.
Oh my god, it'll be a mental problem. Like I didn't get involved, but I know that I would have been 3 hours worth of.
Can I just say those Cactus Jack boxes? It's 2 packs. It's 8 cards. $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. We did a rip the other night.
Yeah.
Joe jumped in for the Chad Gable spot, 15 quid.
I always get the Chad Gable.
Of the 8 cards that came out of the Cactus Jack, Joe got a Chad Gable base worth 30 quid. And he got a Chad Gable to 25, probably worth 500 quid.
Wow.
Yeah, so of all the guys, of all the people, yeah. But
my luck is in with cards.
Did you see Travis Scott ripped one and then signed them and gave out 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. People would be going mad.
It's
adding card orders is a real problem for me.
Yeah, it's getting way crazy now with the cards. The shop opening in London.
The rip shops in Vegas looked mad as well. I saw Gargano.
Yeah, I didn't know how far out they were.
I think they were a little bit.
I didn't even research them.
A little bit out.
But it is travelable because Vegas is so spread out. Like going from hotel to hotel, like from one end to the strip to the other is gnarly. You can't it takes hours to do it. However, I didn't realize it blew my mind, Vegas, because Fremont Street is I thought it was included in the strip, and it technically is, but it's way up there. Like you actually have to travel to it.
I don't know Vegas.
That's so strange. Yeah, it's I now know Vegas, and I have, like I said, got a bug for it. My main takeaways is I would go for about 4 nights. I would go out of where there's no big events like WrestleMania happening or Formula One, not going there for that. And I'd go there for, say, Harry Styles is doing the Sphere residency. I'd probably go there for around that time and get in a nicer hotel. My hotel was so nice. It was plush. It was almost as good as the Fontainebleau. But I would find a nice sort of mix hotel where it's okay, but
Affordable.
not as expensive. Go for 4 days, and I wouldn't do the major things that I did, but I still take in a hell of a lot, and I think I spend probably a third as much as I did.
Yeah, in the chat below, try and guess whether what Bruno's exact money was, and if you get it exact, I'll send you a TBA shirt.
If anyone in the comments can get to, I'll give you within £50. This is sterling we're talking.
Yeah.
Then we'll say it on.
Yeah, we'll say it next week. The other thing I was going to say is WrestleMania apparently is heading back there in a few years as well.
That would be cool.
Because I think I would
go. Yeah, it honestly probably is the perfect city.
No, Bruno, the perfect city is next year. In our hometown, all of our hometown. Narlands. We're going to have crayfish. We're going to have affordable hotels.
Yumberland.
Everything's walking distance.
Gumbo.
Are we booking it now?
I'd love to see what young Paxton / Hudson's going to say about it. But I mean, yeah, definitely. Let's get through that one.
You can't put that stuff out in the air and not.
Yeah, I'll get my blood work drawn up. So that sounded weird to wrestle because New Orleans. Louisiana is not a state that muck around with boxing commissions. Anyway, that's been the Vegas episode, Bruno. I'm thinking the thumbnail. I'll tell you afterwards, actually, in case you don't want to do it.
Okay. The quick pepper or corn it, because I can't do it otherwise, is return flights.
Well, yeah, this is it.
They're good to get home.
Return flights.
Yeah, I had hours to kill in that. I had hours to kill it. I hate that feeling on the last day where you're killing time to get to the airport. You're then killing time on the plane. The holiday's over. Yeah. Like your real life. You just want to crack on with your real life. Coming to get you. Yeah, you're in limbo. It was not a fun experience for that return flight. Even though it was comfortable, but one Virgin over BA any day. Like, unless
BA, you want to send us some free tickets. Obviously,
it's nearly night and day. But that return flight feeling, I don't want that again. So I need to figure out
how to get home. You teleport or stay. Stay there. I'm gonna corn return flights.
Oh yeah, I've got to corn it as well.
I can't stand them. Unless you have to break them into steps. We're like step 1, step 2.
Yeah.
Give yourself sane.
Vlog, innit?
It's just. Yeah, you just want to get home and be like, I want to get sorted, organised. It's a big night ahead of us for Arsenal. This will be we'll be getting ready for the second leg. God, I hope we can overturn that loss. / let's just keep solid and keep the win. Or, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's a big night. I feel sick, so let's not talk about it. Bruno.
Hey. Yeah.
I was going to say, check us out on YouTube, Peppercorn Boys. Check us out on iTunes, Amazon. God, I feel really rusty. Spotify, Amazon Music. Peppercorn Boys. Just search Peppercorn Boys, you'll find us. And follow Elton Prince and Kit Wilson on socials. Follow TBA Wrestling. Follow Bruno_Dunzo or something along those lines. He's probably pressed start again, I would have thought, since Vegas. And if you want to guess the amount, send DMs our way, comment under the video. Do anything like that. Leave us a 5-star review if you're there. Bruno, how fun was it at a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
And at a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you to be back on the Peppercorn Boys?
10.
All right. I'll see you next week.
Let the people say